How's it going, everybody? So this is the product keyword research spreadsheet that you can pretty much use as your dashboard. So let's get into it. So first thing we have here is this product idea table that pretty much acts as a dashboard to see your product from the conception of the idea all the way to getting your keyword leads, to having test suppliers, testing ads, having verified keywords, bulk suppliers, product launches, and so on and so forth. So let's keep it simple. So we have a product idea here. And on your lead criteria for how you're scoring, and I'll get into that in a little bit, basically there are two criteria, which is low barrier of entry versus high volume. If you don't put if you leave this blank, it's going to default to low barrier of entry. If you put high volume, that changes the way that your keywords will get scored when you're looking at verified keywords, which I'll get into. 5 to 10 keyword leads, there is a formula in here which would go into another tab where you will input your keywords, and based on the criteria of those keywords, would bring back a yes or a no. There's some drop downs here for things like test suppliers, where you can pretty much say you have no test suppliers, yes, but none ordered. You can update your progress as you will, right? And so that way you have a reasonable way to track where each product is. Currently testing ads. This is an automated formula that'll show you if you're testing ads or not. Verified keywords. This pretty much goes more into the test phase of things, and I'll explain this in a bit. Bulk suppliers, you can say no, yes, negotiating, testing samples, put in order, and product launch. From pay-per-click campaigns, lead promotions to dead leads, you can put these in here, and it'll populate. Anything involving yes will create a green box, and if it has a no, it'll create a red box, right? So that's just the basic product idea. It's important to actually put your product idea in here, as it populates other tabs that are important. So when we're talking about the lead criteria scoring, we have low barrier of entry versus high volume. I'm actually going to explain that right over here. So there are two scoring systems here, low barrier of entry and high volume. They're 1 through 5 scoring systems, and they're based on three criteria, which is having over 750 sales in the top 10 products, at least 3 products under 50 reviews in the top 10, at least 4 products with over 3 in the reviews to sales ratio in the top 10. So here's how the scoring system works, right? So for either system, if you have a low barrier of entry and high traffic keyword, you're going to get a 5 in either scoring system, right? And that again is based off of over 750 sales in the top 10 products, and then at least 3 products under 50 reviews, at least 4 products with over 3 review to sales ratio. If it is a medium barrier of entry with high traffic, and that could be either still the sales is good, but let's just say that there is not enough products in the top 10 with over 3 in the reviews to sales ratio, that's going to be a medium barrier of entry, high traffic keyword. The high volume scoring will score that as a 4. Low barrier of entry scoring will score that as a 3. All right. If you go down and let's just say you have over 750 sales, top 10, but there's not enough products under 50 reviews in the top 10, but the review to sales ratio of the top 10 products is still good. It's still going to be rated as a medium barrier of entry, high traffic. Still will be a 4 on the high volume scoring and a 3 on the low barrier of entry scoring. If you have neither of these in play, but you have over 750 sales in the top 10 products, that would be high barrier of entry, high traffic. High volume scoring will score this as a 3. Low barrier entry scoring will score it as a 2. And then if you have low barrier of entry, low traffic, meaning there's not a lot of sales in the top 10 products, but everything's looking good in terms of the sales, the reviews and the sales to review ratio, that's going to be scored as a 4 in the low barrier of entry scoring and a 2 in the high volume scoring. And it keeps going down. So this chart will tell you basically, based on the criteria you put in, how a keyword is going to be scored. And so you can change the lead criteria scoring for a product idea in this chart here. And anytime you input a keyword under that product idea, it'll be assessed either on high volume or low barrier of entry. So let's go dig in to the keyword research spreadsheet. So in the product idea drop down, basically a drop down list will populate that will take into account any item that you put in this table. So if you add a new table, let's just say I add something like chopsticks, then immediately this drop down will get populated with chopsticks. I can put that in there. Make sure, by the way, that iterative calculations are on. The way you do this, you go to Excel, Preferences. If you go to Calculation, use iterative calculation should be checked. Maximum iterative calculation should be set to 1. Basically, the reason that's important, let's just say we put in a keyword. Anytime you put in a keyword, it'll put the date of input. So bamboo serving tray just repopulated there, and the date of input got set to 6/26/17. The reason this is important is because obviously keyword data changes over time. So you might research a keyword, find that you got a bunch of them with data from 3 months ago, and find that you want to refresh the data, right? So you have your product idea here, right? And so basically what you do is copy and paste or type in the keyword. You can take them from merchant words. You can keyword inspector, put the keyword in there. And so there's a couple of other columns you can fill out. Amazon estimated monthly volume. Basically, I use merchant words, you can use keyword inspector, you can use a million different ones, but basically any program that will give you an estimated monthly search volume for Amazon, you would put that number in here. If you get an estimated CPC, you can input that here manually. So let's say that you could put whatever the estimated CPC is, it's just going to track that. The search volume is actually very important. This is one of the more important columns to fill out. You could put in the category right here. If the column is gray, it means it has a formula in it and it automatically populates. So when I add Amazon estimated monthly search volume, it's going to populate this column. If I delete that, the number goes down, but yeah. So total number of results, Amazon search. This would just be the number of products to a keyword. There are some guidelines there. Not completely necessary, but it's helpful. Product uniformity, something to note when you're looking at the first product page under a keyword, relevant ads on the sidebar, sales to review ratio, number of products over 3 on the sales to review ratio in the top 10 products. So you count these, you would input the number here. This is another important piece of data to put in, right? I use viral launch, you can put the number of stars, seasonal trends, viral launch or Jungle Scout's first page products average price, do the top 10 items collectively accrue 750 sales, top 10 items with at least with less than 50 reviews, keyword assessment, low barrier of entry keyword scoring, high traffic keyword scoring, Google monthly average search volume. So if you use AdWords or KW Finder, you can put the estimated search volume there, and this number would get added into the total monthly search volume here, right? Google AdWords, KW Finder competition score, and over here you can just look at customer needs. You'd find these in product reviews, and you can start to catalog certain customer needs, right? So let's look at the keyword assessments here, medium barrier entry, high traffic. This is why I say there are a few things that are important. Basically, if we're looking at this column with sales review ratio, The top 10 items collectively accrue 750 sales, and top 10 items with at least 50 reviews. You'll see that these are drop downs. You can still manually type a yes or a no, but they're drop downs also in case you just want to drop down. Basically, if I were to type in yes, oh, I guess that one's not a drop down. Yes, and then in here I put a 1, this becomes a medium barrier of entry, high traffic based on that. If I change this to 4, low barrier of entry, high traffic. And then the scoring columns will populate based on what you get in there. The scoring columns will populate based on the keyword assessment, right? So this is a great place to start here, right? So we have all that data, and why does that become important? It really becomes important when just assessing a keyword lead. So, right, let's go back into the products and ideas tracking. When we look at the 5 to 10 keyword leads, it is actually kind of important that you understand when you have enough keyword leads. So ultimately, if we're looking at, this is our product idea settings column, and this basically goes under minimum of max product scoring and minimum product scoring, right? So let's just say we want to no products under a 4 on minimum product scoring, and the max is obviously going to be 5. Ultimately, what it comes down to is that this is automatically going to highlight green when we get 5 to 10 keyword leads. That means 5 to 10 keywords that are based on this low barrier of entry or high volume that meet our minimum product scoring criteria, right? So if we set this minimum product scoring down to, for instance, a 1, then you'll find that there's a lot more keyword leads per product idea, and that more would ultimately populate, right? So ultimately, it's important to know what you're looking for, high volume, low barrier of entry. Everybody has a different business, so you can set that to whatever. But when you go back to the keyword research spreadsheet, then you can get, based on the information you input, you can then look at a product idea and see if you have enough keyword leads to move forward, and move forward to the next piece, and so on and so forth. The last piece we have here on this is a pivot table. All right, so our pivot table is here, and this is nice for organizing data, because what you can ultimately do is look at a product idea and look at the different keywords underneath the product idea. You can look at the date of entry, the estimated monthly volume for each product, Amazon's monthly volume, CPC, Google volume, Google score or KW Finder score, and the average of low barrier to entry keyword score, right? So you see that these 3 keywords here are getting scored around a 4 and a 5 on the low barrier entry score, and around like a 2 and a 5 on the high traffic score. Sum of total results in Amazon search, you can kind of get an idea of indirectly how a product is getting searched based on that. Review sales ratio. So it's just another way that you can look at your data, right? And you can do other things like you can check out a descent. You could look at, for instance, the sum of total results Amazon search, and you can create a descending go, so that basically now when you're looking at all this data, it's ultimately descending by the sum of total Amazon search results, right? And so in that way, you get a little more organization. You can also just look at keywords under, you can have a way to just see one product idea and all the keywords that come with it. and it just allows you to get all the information in a little more of a clean format, right? So this is the first part of things. In the next video, we will go over the keyword testing and how to analyze.